And we're back.
Hey. Happy Psychic Sundays, everyone.
Happy Psychic Sundays. I'm just trying to get us here all nice and
how are you guys doing
here? Okay.
Are you comfy and cozy wherever it is that you are? You know, it's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in Southern California. And I want to know where everyone is. Everybody, if it's your first time, let us know what city and state you're from or what country you're tuning in from. I am Psychic Medium Trance Channel Riz the Wiz, here as always with my lovely wife,
Lady O. I'm an Intuitive Empath. Nice to meet you all. And for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, me and Rocket say hello.
Look, you got him to wave. Hi, Rocket.
Do you know I found out that he's going to lose all this fuzzy, fluffy hair because he's a silky, and he's going to end up with this long coat. And now we have to decide, because we really got attached to him looking like this. We have to decide how we're going to cut it, if we're going to cut it, like, are we going to leave it long? There's a whole thing.
So you showed me a picture of what he's going to look like. Mm-hmm. And he looked, like right now to me, I don't even know if this makes any sense, but he looks like a boy dog.
I look like a little boy dog.
And then the picture you showed me was so feminine with the long, silky hair.
I know.
And oh, look, he's looking at me.
Well, some boy dogs like to have man buns and ponytails and mohawks.
They do, don't they? I'm more of a cat. I'm more of a lion, you know, the Leo thing. But I hear what you're saying. We are ketchup and mustard tonight.
I know, you guys.
Welcome
We're ketchup and mustard.
Show.
So cute.
I'm not ready for this summer, by the way, because the heat started and I'm already... So for those of you who don't know, I'm in the middle of menopause. How lovely. And everyone has to hear about it all the time. I'm really apologetic, but I have no choice. So I get extra hot. So like this heat, I'm just already dead.
I know. And I mean, and those who, if you guys have ever been around anyone who ever gets those hot flashes.
Yeah.
But it's literally like
fire.
Like fire, right? And so I wonder if it's going to be worse in summer. Wait, I have a question for you. Was it better in winter? Like it was cold out, but you weren't cold.
I was not cold.
That's so fascinating.
I was on top of the sheets.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool, and I know I talk about this for those of you guys who have been tuning in, I talk about this probably a little too much, but I'm just very proud of our generation who has really got really pissed off at the current state of affairs of our medical community, on where we're at with our lack of knowledge on how to take care of women properly with menopause.
I know.
And what I like is that we're breaking down the walls and barriers because, you know, we just want to party. So this is not okay. And so we are going to all kinds of lengths to change everything. And my projection is in the future generations, they may not even have to go through what I go through. They may just have and you guys, I know about hormone therapy treatments and wild yams and the whole thing. I've had every panel and every type. I've had man-made, I've had natural, I've had everything to balance my hormones. Yeah. But it's when the cycle starts mid, 28th day, your ovulation, when you start the ovulation, this is when it's kind of like all hell breaks loose. And if you don't have exactly the right progesterone and estrogen. So I have this really wonderful estrogen belly right now. My nice estrogen belly.
More of you to love, honey.
And guess what? Yeah. I didn't used to have this. And so it's made me super emo. So I got my support dog for that. And so
well, this is...
So you see what happens when I start talking about it? People are like, oh God, here she goes again with the menopause conversation.
Well, you know what's great? And I think that it's so cool. On our show, we talk about things that are body, mind, and spirit. Our show is Metamystic. And so everything is about all the things that have to do with the body, the mind, the spirit, all holistic, metaphysical.
Yeah, it's all life.
It's all life, man.
Life stuff.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing?
How's
the planetary
everybody
alignments
doing?
This past week, we had, 5 planets, Erica, in alignment?
Actually 6.
6 planets in alignment with the sun and the earth. And the moon?
No, just sun and the earth.
The sun and the earth and the planets.
The moon was not part of the
So I have always felt that, psychically, that we don't pay enough attention to the fact that we are living in a cosmic reality, not just an earthly reality. That the planets affect us, the moon affects us. We all know how the moon affects our emotions, affects the tides, affects the water, affects the cycle of a woman every 28 and a quarter days. And then we have the sun, which also affects our mood and creates
the solar flares and all that.
Positive vibes in
and
us.
so what happens to us empaths and very sensitive people out there that feel everything. So we feel the ebbs and flow of the planet. We feel the conscious collective and how it's changing and moving and evolving. And then on top of that, our own ebbs and flows in our own body.
Right. But it's all one, isn't it? Because we don't know many times, especially for you guys who are becoming more sensitive psychically, many times you're feeling things that aren't yours. You are with a group of people and you might suddenly feel like, oh, I don't want to be here. I'm suddenly sad or I'm bothered, and you don't know what it is. Many times you're picking up what's happening with other people. So while it's a great thing to increase your capacity, expand yourself psychically, you also have to understand that sensitivity will pick up many, many things, right? So you'll pick up some of the unpleasant with the pleasant, and your constant attention to being at peace and meditating and keeping your vibration peaceful is going to help you learn how to deal with that sensitivity. And
well, I would like to give first of all, I want to give a little shout out to you. And I would also like to tell men out there how to deal with their menopausal women. Get a pen and pad. No, I'm just kidding. Many marriages don't survive menopause, y'all. Okay, it's the real thing. And we're in the business of helping people, so we get those calls all the time. And it's always because there's not enough information and education, and men are not taught and equipped. Women are already going through it, but there's not enough information. So what happens is it's just a lot of fighting, and women are like not in the mood for anything, and nobody wants to it just gets really rough. So I'm going to tell you what Riz has been doing, and it really works. So he gives me a lot of space to be wild and crazy when I get that way. Then I get really, really not crazy and really, really wonderful. And he's like relieved, but he gives me space to be in all of these phases and places. And I'm also an empath on top of that. So he gives me space. He has hobbies. He has things he likes to do.
I do? I don't know.
What should I do with that?
I had hobbies. What are my hobbies?
It's like a trivia question. Let's ask Riz what his hobbies
Isn't that
are.
funny? I don't even know that I have hobbies.
Well, that sounds like something you have to work off camera with.
That should be my hobby. Figuring out what hobbies I have.
As far as the hobbies I know is...
I'm so old school that when people say hobbies, I think of things like...
You think of like craft projects?
Yeah, craft
you're thinking
projects.
of... Okay, what would you call it? Extracurricular activities?
And I'm like somewhere in a garage working on something.
Let's reword it. Forget the word hobbies. I do admit that hobbies does sound old school.
Does it sound old school?
Super old school.
Oh, do I have miniatures somewhere that I'm gluing together? Or I make rocket airplanes? What is my hobby?
Okay, forget hobbies.
Okay.
Extracurricular activities?
Staring at the wall.
Okay.
That's one of them.
Things you like to do besides...
I like to stare at the wall.
Oh my God, he's such
I like
not
to
a
sit
team player,
I like
is
to sit
he?
in the massage.
Music.
Wait, I like to sit in a massage chair and just watch all of you guys in the house, and I'm highly
So
entertained
what
by
is
that.
going on when you're playing with your music and your guitar and you're singing? What's all that?
When I'm playing my guitar, it's kind of like an extension of me stretching. Like it's the same thing as me stretching in a sense. Like it's like me. It's an extension of myself when I play music. I play the guitar and I do that.
What about your tarot deck?
I'm so terrible. You know how
You're so completely
I'm so undisciplined,
artistic.
though. You know that I'm so undisciplined at times.
Yeah, but you do your tarot deck. You're
I'm making my tarot deck.
Your artistic eye is beyond comprehension.
Thank
And
you.
this tarot deck's almost done. Super excited, you guys.
I'm coming out with an oracle
And
deck.
I forgot what my where I even started.
You have your book called Finding Merlin. I have my oracle deck, which we're both working on, which will be out at some point in the next few months. But let's talk about Psychic Sundays, shall we? Because
Sure, why not?
aren't there new people jumping in? If you've
But they probably like the fact that they have no idea what this show's about right now.
Kind of fun.
They're probably like, huh, what is
They
this?
started talking off about menopause, and then he started
But
talking about he
wait.
has no hobbies. Yeah,
Wait,
this is
I didn't even get to finish. Can I at least
Best psychic
finish?
show I've ever
Listen,
seen.
I want to finish talking about how you've been great during my
But I
menopause.
can't handle compliments.
Okay, so look the other way.
You have to upgrade.
Okay, I'm going to talk about how he handles it. So he is just very, very understanding. He has a very big threshold, like his patience. He has a lot of patience. And he also is always there for me when I need to be happy and silly and crazy, and then drop all the way down to the center of the earth and get very morbid. And then he's always there for me when I want to be really fun and then loving. And then he's just there for all of it. And he just understands what I'm going through, and he sees that this is like nature, and I just have to go through it.
Yes.
So I just do my best. Where I come in, the part I play is I do my best to hold it together.
No, you do amazing. I mean, the things that you handle and the things
Like
that
I
you
do all the tech for the show. I do all the,
Well, I've always looked at it as that, my old saying, and for you guys who work with your significant others, or you work with someone who you also have a personal close relationship with, it is all encompassing, because it's not a job what we do. We've been in the field of psychic work and shamanic work for close to together 15 years, me 20 years doing it. And on that journey of being a couple and going into the world and all around the world doing this work, we have to be so telepathic with one another. At times where we have to, somebody needs to lead, somebody needs to follow, somebody needs to carry the other person. Sometimes it's both of us going forward in that way. And I've always said as a shaman and as a psychic that relationship is such the teacher of all of us. Even if you're not in a relationship right now and you're single, notice that the idea of relationship teaches you. So you don't even have to be in a relationship to learn from relationship, because either you're still processing the relationships you've been in the past. Mm-hmm. You are trying to create one for the future. You're trying to understand the relationships that you have now. We are always in this study of energy, and when you're
how we relate
to
things and others,
relationships. So this is kind of like how we are, even when we talk about connecting with spirit guides, it is about how do you change the way that you have been kind of listening to the universe. Because sometimes people will come and say, I'm really trying really hard to connect to my spirit guides. And I say, I don't want you to do that. It's the last thing I want you to do.
But people may have spirit guides talking to them, and they're relating to them and listening to them, and don't even know that that's who's talking to them.
Yes.
They think it's their own voice talking to themselves.
Yes.
Like let's just say you're sitting there on the couch, and all of a sudden you get this inkling that you need, look who's here. And she does not like this fence.
Oh, Lily's here. Oh, she snuck around the side.
Found a way.
We had to put a little fence.
Riz, when she finds out, Riz, you bet her. Are you going to let her sit on you?
Yeah, no, because she.
Oh my God. Moomie's in the house, you guys. We have this thing going on now with the new puppy. So Moomie usually sits on my lap.
Come up here.
Oh.
She doesn't know the dog is with you.
Oh my God. It's going to not be good.
Show her the dog's face. Oh no, she's coming over here.
Okay.
Okay, let her walk around.
So, what about if you're sitting on the couch and all of a sudden you get this inkling or this feeling that you need to find an ice skating rink, like all of a sudden out of nowhere, and you're just like, I haven't been ice skating in forever, dude. Is there an ice skating rink in the city? Like, let me just go. I don't even care. I'm not going to call anyone. I'm just going to go. I just need to ice skate.
And you think it's a random thought.
And you think it's a random thought that you thought, but it's actually your guides dropping that in. So people come to us and they're like, I can't talk to my guides. I can't hear my guides. And yet the whole time you have been talking to your guides, and your guides have been communicating with you, and you even listen to them, and you don't even realize it. It's been going on since you were a little kid.
Right.
Your guides don't just show up, you guys, when you're adults. You know that, right?
Your guides have been with you since you were in the crib.
They actually know us before we come to the planet. This was an arrangement. And guess what? Especially I've asked the spirit guides that you channel. We have asked our particular guides to be there for us in this particular timeline.
Right.
So it's not that they're coming out of nowhere and going, hey, can I be your guide? It's more like we're asking them, I would like you to be my guide when I go journey and become Oriah. I would like you to help me and mentor me, be there for me, whatever it is that we say. So The thing is, your guides are with you from day one. Your guides are with you from the second you inhabit
Day
your
zero.
body. Yeah.
Day zero.
So the thing is, you don't know when you're being guided. Like that award-winning poster that you drew and painted in the 8th grade that got an award. You think it's you. Well, yeah, but who inspired you? Who pushed you? Who showed you which colors? Like, go get that paint over there. Like, you'll like that better. Like, guiding you in the direction that you can improve and expand and enjoy your life more. They're not going to just let you, like, if you do fall, it's a part of the plan.
Right.
It's not like because you have bad days and because you fall, you think, oh, my guides aren't with me. My guides aren't with me because I fell. I had a bad day. I got in a car accident. I had this happen. I had that happen. My guides are just not there.
Do you think your guides
but it's the opposite.
Trip you sometimes?
I do think so.
That's the only way you'll learn.
You know when the guides really kind of get involved in a negative way is when you start to get arrogant and you start thinking you know it all. And you start walking around with your head in the clouds thinking you got this all figured out.
Yeah.
And you're ready to lock it down. And you're like, I'm good. I don't need any more information. I am totally locked in. And that's when the guys are like, oh, yeah. And you know what's really funny? Here's one last thing. Sorry, I have to say all this. When we've been watching Gordon with Master Chef and all those shows, it's really funny because a lot of the chefs in different shows we watch like that will come on when they do their little interview and they say, I'm going to kick everybody's ass, blah, blah, blah. And they're like so arrogant. And they're the first ones to fall. The contestants.
Yeah.
And you are the first one that goes, oh, watch that lady. The lady that just said, like, I came in here and I'm going to show everybody and I'm better cooked than everybody, da 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 da. And then Riz goes, yeah, and watch what's going to happen to her because that kind of arrogance, it always, that karma, it always comes back and always they fail. First round, second round, they fail. So you guys, to just wrap it up, I just want to say, I've never said this before to you guys. I just wanted to let you know, you always have your guides with you from before you arrive to the planet. In many lifetimes, these are long friendships. Your guides not only are with you, they have encouraged you, inspired you, help you grow, evolve, and move through life your entire life to this very day. And many people walk around, I don't know if I have guides. I don't know if I can feel them. And yet you do feel them. You just don't know it's them. You don't know it's them. They leave little surprises for you and just little moments that you think is yours. So the next time something like that happens, I suggest you take a deep breath and just stop for a second, which is key to spiritual evolution, is stop and listen. So you stop and you go, that was interesting. That came out of left field. Why am I doing that? Why do I want to go to this thing? Why do I need to buy tickets to that concert? Why do I need to invite that particular friend? Why am I changing my clothes 4 times and now this is the right outfit? Why? Why did I quit that job? Why am I moving on to the next house? What is going on? It's not that you're aimlessly in the dark, just trying to figure it out. I know it feels that way, but it's not. It's all a part of getting you to a place where you become more sensitive and listen and know that your guides are with you. They're always with you. So tonight, if you guys want to know who your guides are that are working with you, the guides that have been with you or your spirit team, you could ask that in the questions tonight. You could also ask mediumship questions. You can ask questions about your pet, your health. I'm an intuitive empath, so I can answer a lot of questions about what you're experiencing in your spiritual evolution and in your awakening. I can talk to you about just everything that you're going through. So if you guys want to open up the chats and let the games begin, I could start taking some questiones. I haven't said hi to anybody yet, you guys, and the reason why is because I'm a little bit, I can't really see what's happening on the screen too much. I can, but it's not very clear. So, but I see you all here and I welcome you. Okay. So Rizwan, are you ready? Oh, that was your baby name.
What's the questions?
Are you ready for your question?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Are you?
No, I'm not ready yet for my questions.
Okay, because we have some questions lining up. We have some super chats lining up.
Hey, man.
We have, everybody's here.
All right, so
everyone's in the house.
If it's your first time, welcome. Psychic Sundays is you guys coming into our living room, us sharing our living room with you guys. It's where we've always hung out on Sunday nights, where we've been doing readings for our friends and our family members, anyone who's hanging around and wants to drop in with us. So we are going to be here for the next 2 hours and dropping in with you, doing some readings, having a little conversation, having a laugh, doing some readings, kind of back and forth that way. And, you know, a lot of questions come in. I can't get to all of them. And, you know, it's interesting about being a medium is that, especially when I do these Psychic Sundays, I'm feeling things even beforehand, even before you ask me questions. And I call these things spirit shout outs. So I'm sitting here. I have spirit guides that are giving me messages about you guys who are watching live. And so I'll say something which will be either a name or a situation or something very specific that is about one of you guys. And I don't know who it's for. You will answer in the chat. And then I'll get the question to you. As far as mediumship readings go, I'll get to some of those as well. Just your first name, the person's first name, and when did they pass, how long ago. If the person's passed less than 6 months ago, please wait till that mark. There's an acclimation period that the person needs once they leave the physical realm, the earth body, and go to the other side. It's about around 6 months as I feel it's okay to initiate contact and see if there's a message. That being said, all the readings are free, guys. And if you want to make a donation to the channel, of course we welcome that. That'd be awesome. And we're really happy to be here with you. And we hope that you're going to have a great time with us tonight. And that's about it. So let me start off with the spirit shout outs and see what we've got. All right. All right. So the first thing I'm seeing is I'm actually seeing crutches. So these seem to be that someone who was using crutches. It also could be the walker, but I think it's crutches. And I feel they're on the other side, but they left those crutches here, and you have those crutches still. You haven't tossed them out. Okay? All right. Now there's also someone here, and this is interesting. They're showing me an incident where the air conditioner fell out of the window. Isn't that interesting? You know, when you put the air conditioner in the window and it kind of fell out, or they were trying to put it in, and this is a funny story that they have with you. And the last one, there's a name connected here, and the name is like Asa, which would be, what would that be spelled? Like A-S-A? Yeah, I think that would be the name. Asa. That's like a man's name, isn't it? It's like one of those southern names, I think. Could be wrong. Might be European. I don't know. But that's the name. If it's connected to you, let me know. And the date of November 30th is coming up. So that's either the birthday or the death anniversary of this person. Okay. Thank you. All right, let's open it up.
Wow, we got lots and lots of questions. Very excited that people are interested in their spirit guides, their awakening. That's great. Okay.
All right.
So here we go. Yasmin, who is my main spirit guide or guardian angel gatekeeper? Are they one and the same?
All right. Okay, so the question is, who is the spirit guide for Yasmin?
Yes.
Okay. Also, I just want to let you know, if there's first timers, let's do all first timers first, because that name sounds familiar.
But there's other people with that name.
That's true. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
dun,
Okay,
dun,
just
dun,
a
dun.
reminder, because you guys know, we like to make the community welcome
So
to
if
the new
there's a
people.
Jennifer,
Yeah, there's probably many, right? Okay, so the question was, is your gatekeeper and what the same?
who is my main spirit guide, guardian angel, gatekeeper, and are they one and the same?
No, they are not the same. So I see the categorization of the people, the spirits, the energies around people. I do see them in different ways. Spirit guides, yes, your spirit guide can be considered an angel or an archangel, because those are terms that are used in very specific languages and specific religious backgrounds, even though angels existed before there was religion. So then the gatekeeper is the one you might call, I like to say that the gatekeeper is the person who works the front door at the club and checks IDs and allows certain people in and certain not, meaning allows other spirit guides to work with you and those who are low level or not spirit guides, because there are spirits floating around all the time, and will try to connect with you, and they aren't always there for the best of purposes because they're just mischievous. So your gatekeeper does that, but your gatekeeper also is assigned to you before you are born. They are your main guide. They are the ones that bring you to places. Now, what do I mean by bring you to places? Meaning situations. I don't necessarily mean locations. Then you have spirit guides that work in different capacities. It really is how I've experienced it, guys, for 20 to 30 years of doing this work. All the messages that come through, this is from my own personal experience, what I've actually communicated with. So there are those who work with you on money. There are those who work with you on your health. There are spirit guides that are temps. Yes, temps, meaning they come in to help you through a particular chapter of your life. And then they're done, and then they're out. You know, you've had those moments in your life where you're like, I don't know, for those 3 months, I felt like something was helping me. Yeah, those are your temps that come in. They're the specialists, you know? So the question was, who is her guide?
Yes.
So the name I'm getting for your guide is Iris, I-R-I-S. You know what's interesting? Isn't her name a flower? Isn't Jasmine her name?
Yasmin. Yeah, that's
Yasmin. Yasmin means
but that's
jasmine.
Spanish
so
for
the
jasmine.
name Iris is, now here's what's interesting. Even though the name Iris is a flower, I actually see it like the iris of this beautiful crystal eye, like a physical eye. She's your gatekeeper. All right.
We have a possible
Movies watching.
spirit shout
We have a
out.
possible spirit shout out.
Raiden, her brother Josh,
Uh-huh.
November 30th is his birthday.
Yes, great. Question for you. Is your father's father passed? Because it's an older gentleman. I don't think it's the father. I believe it's the father's father. Let me know about that, please. Okay.
What was that movie by Matt Damon, that spirit guide movie that we
The
liked?
Adjustment Bureau.
The Adjustment Bureau. And then the timeline jumping, that was the Everything Always.
Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah.
Great movie, guys. Do you guys like that movie?
And also, you guys should watch the Robin Williams What Dreams May Come movie, because these are movies that are all really about your spiritual awakening, timeline jumping, spirit guide, kind of like how they organize your life.
Karma, destiny, how you create your reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raiden says yes, the grandfather has passed.
The grandfather's passed. Well, that's the energy that's coming through, and was talking about, let me ask, what was you talking about? It was a few minutes ago. I'm asking him to come back. It was a general message of protection and order and getting, I keep seeing now he's coming through about getting organized without you putting too much pressure on yourself. So whatever it is that the brother is doing to try and get things in order. I keep seeing in order. Now that's usually the way your work-life balance, right? And so grandfather is wanting to come in and say that, appreciates all your powerful high energy to the brother. Raiden's your brother. Raiden's brother, right? That's who I'm giving the message to?
Yes.
Yeah. So do we know his name? Josh, you said?
Josh.
So for Josh, about that, definitely taking time to do de-stressing, because I see a very busy, active mind, and I say de-stressing, but not zoning out. So de-stressing is consciously de-stressing, not zoning out, meaning, you know, like when you zone out, it's just kind of like you're checking out, and then hopefully at some point you'll come back to life and go on with your day. This is about getting more organized in how you're taking care of yourself. Got it. Yes.
I have a random thing I want to say.
Sure.
Because I'm in one of those random moods tonight that anything can come out of my mouth tonight.
All right. Let's hear it.
So you were telling me recently that somebody from our chats, our live chats, booked a journey. They met you and they were talking to you, and you walked in and they're like, oh my God, you are so tall.
Oh, yeah.
They were
that's
like,
right.
do you know you guys look kind of on the short side?
No, you didn't say on the short side. He goes, I thought you were short.
Well, I was trying to like,
You're so polite. No, the dude was like, I thought you were short.
right? And we're like, what?
I'm 6'3".
But, and I'm almost 5'11".
He's like, you look. He's
But
like, you
what's
look-
really funny is I was looking at us right now on the monitor, and there is a little squishing happening, but I don't know. It's just the lens.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm 6'3". Okay. Let's go
Random
on.
trivia that you guys need to know.
I have a.
Megan said, thank you so much. I will show Josh this message.
By the
Thank
way,
you. I have another spirit shout out, and this is making me laugh. I don't even know if one of you remember this, but one of your spirit guides and someone on the other side is showing me. Do you remember what a chia pet is? Do you remember a chia pet? Now we eat chia seeds. Now we get chia seeds. Do you know? You don't know what a chia pet is?
I do. I remember those.
Erica, do you know what a chia pet is?
I do.
So they used to sell these things, and now we eat chias. Those are the same things we're putting in our smoothies now. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
Did you ever make that connection?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
It is really
So
weird,
I'm trying
right?
to block it.
Anyway,
while you're
somebody
talking.
is showing me the chia pet that's connected to one of you.
By the way, there's
Also, the name Roberto is I need to talk about Roberto, and I'm saying it in a Spanish way. Yes, I'm not saying Robert. I'm saying Roberto.
well, you got to let Erica catch up.
Okay.
There's a lot of spirit shout outs.
All right.
By the way, if you guys hear a random voice in the background, that is Erica, our
A spirit in the house.
our assistant Virgo in the house who handles all the organization, sifts through all your questions, talks to you, monitors you, gets you guys all nice and ready to go, and packages you for the question for Riz. So she does all the heavy lifting, and we really appreciate her time and
Yeah.
energy. And she's also a excellent and extremely good intuitive tarot reader and also astrologer, and she can put her link if you guys are interested. She would be more than happy to give you guys a reading, and she's been around us doing this work for over a decade,
3,000
so she's
years.
really good. Okay, here we go. I'm sure it was the 3,000 years. Okay, Linda Straub, I'd like to know who my guide is.
Hi, Linda. Let me tune in for you. Okay. I just wanted to say something. I can't just tell you who your guide is. I always get a message too. I was curious if you know someone or you have some connection in some way to the Olympics. Like, were you an obsessive Olympics watcher, or was there someone in the family who really loved the Olympics? Or is there any connection to that? Because the moment I started connecting with you, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the spirit guide, and here's what's interesting about it, is I keep seeing Apollo, and I know that the Greeks were also connected to the Olympics, so I think all of this is connected somehow. So Apollo is working, and Apollo is the one with the wings on his feet, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's correct. Okay, so that's what I saw. I just saw these winged feet.
Wait, is that right? Okay.
And so,
Oh, wait.
because now I'm thinking
huh?
But Hermes is
Hermes.
feet on the wings.
Who's
Yeah.
the one who had wings on the feet?
Hermes.
Hermes.
Then it's Hermes. Thank you. It's the Greek god that had the wings on the feet,
Do
and
you
I'm
pronounce
seeing
it
that.
Hermes?
If you're French.
If you're French.
Is this the same
Hermes.
one with the bags?
Is that the guy
Linda,
with the bags?
It's not about getting a Hermes bag. It's about being lighter on your feet. It's about dancing, walking, running, movement in the body, and making sure that is happening in your life in this summer. So play, dance, take care of your feet. If you can get a weekly foot massage, look, there's all those places now. You have those Chinese foot massage places. They're everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where we travel, I see them, and they're so talented because it's part of that technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
So guys, that's the way to invest in yourself. I mean, it heals your body in so many ways, but that's your guide's name, and that is the message for you. And I'm curious about that question I had about the Olympics with you, because maybe there's someone on the other side who wants to say something. Okay.
Mediumship question.
Yes.
I'm Ingrid. Any messages from my mom, Nydia?
And when did she pass?
It doesn't say.
Okay, we need
Thank
that
you. Love to
information.
you both.
It was November 2021.
2021, she said?
Yes.
Ingrid and her mother's Nydia?
Yes.
Nydia?
Nydia.
Okay. Hi, Iris. Iris? No. What? Ingrid?
Ingrid. Ingrid.
Iris was the spirit guide that was here. Okay. Okay, Ingrid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Question. You know, I get messages and I get a question for you. Because when I tune into someone, there's all sorts of messages coming in. Is it you or is it her that had the very sensitive skin? Or did you rub lotion or into her skin? Because I'm seeing that. And she's coming through pretty strong here. She's put a big heart around the month of April. Also, is there the name Henry or Harry connected here? There's also a man on the other side, on the side of her. So would this be your dad? Is your dad also on the other side? But there's a man close to her. So if it's not her dad, it's a brother. I mean, if it's not your dad, it's a brother. But there's a man to the side. Uh-huh. The message for you is that she really hopes that you are... Oh, okay, thank you. First, she's showing me that she's really she's standing up. So when someone shows me that they're standing up and making a point of it, it's almost like they're showing me that whatever was wrong in the body. But I'm getting specifically the legs, the lower half. And she's showing me herself standing up very strong. If there's loose ends around her passing that you're taking care of, she's thanking you for that.
So I did care for her skin, and yes, Dad is on the other side.
You did care for her skin? That's so sweet. She loves that you did that part, because when they show me that, it's like the thing that really affected them and they remembered. So it was like that act of love of you taking care of her skin is very beautiful to her. Also, is there any silver, specifically silver jewelry that you like or that she left behind? Because I see it. Big love. They are together. You're she just said you're a big girl. You're going to be okay. Thank you. Somebody's speaking a different language also on the other side. Female voice connected to you. Okay, let's move forward.
There's a Chia.
Who's the Chia?
There's a Chia person.
Who is this?
Chia.
Go ahead.
Aunt P.
Aunt P.
Not sure if this is the connection about a chia pet, but my daughter Danielle cannot grow plants and killed her chia, and no one kills chia plants.
She said my granddaughter?
Daughter.
Her daughter. Well, there's a woman on the other side talking about the chia pet. That's why I said it was funny, because I have not even used the words chia pet. I have not, I take my glasses off. I have not said the words chia pet in probably 30 years, okay? So it's really funny that I'm saying it in a live psychic reading to you, but this older female, I don't know if this is your mom.
She's a yes.
What's yes? Yes, mom?
Yes,
Mom.
and I think to mom, and she said I have to grow all her plants.
Yeah, this woman on the other side is having a good laugh about this. Yeah. This woman is having a good laugh about this. I guess your mom on the other side is having a good laugh about this. But when they come through with humor in that way, I see it as, I mean, I don't even need to see it as, it is that they are in this very positive, beautiful vibration, and they want you to feel them in that way. And that the humor is like, keep it light in life, that it's not about the fact that they're gone. It's about that they're actually just with you in a different way now, energetically. It's making you have to connect more spiritually rather than, than focusing on whatever happened where they're not here anymore. Okay.
Ingrid from before confirmation said she does have the silver jewelry.
Ingrid had the Wait, am I supposed to ring the bell? How come I'm not ringing the bell, man? Okay.
And also said yes to Spanish.
Yes to Spanish. Okay, yeah. So she does have the silver jewelry, she said. Great. Oh, I'm so glad to provide that message. I'm so glad she came through also. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, so I would love to know the name of one of my guides and where I am at in my spiritual awakening. Thank you so much. My full name is Prairie Dawn McKay.
Prairie Dawn McKay?
Prairie
Prairie
dash Dawn.
Dawn. What a great name.
MCK McKay. That's an awesome name.
That's a great
Prairie
name.
Dawn.
That's like an author's name.
It is an author's name.
Okay.
Wow.
And she wants to know who her guide is?
Yes.
First of all, I want to let you know that you have a beautiful honeybee around you, and coming and behind the honeybee, this is your spirit animal, by the way, is the honeybee, and this beautiful honeycomb. And you know, the honeycomb is sacred geometry.
Right.
I hope that you're into sacred geometry. If you don't know what it is, type it into Google and look. And on YouTube, there's actually videos of sacred geometry, which you can meditate to. And there's a lot to go into that for me to explain it right now. But I won't go into it now. I'm just going to tell you that that beautiful bee is a very powerful spirit animal for you, because there's so much intelligence in a bee. And where I see why this bee is coming through as your spirit animal right now is bees have a very powerful navigational sense. I don't know if you know this, and a lot of people don't know this. Many times when the bee leaves the hive and it goes out into the garden and just trying to find the pollen, it will come back after it finds the pollen. It comes back to the hive. The other bees gather around this one bee because they want to know where the pollen is, and this bee starts to mimic the movements of where it flew to get to that pollinated flower.
Right.
So it'll go left and go right, and the other bees are
The
watching.
waggle.
Yeah.
The waggle.
They're watching and memorizing this. So it is about navigation in
beautiful
life
thing.
for you. So this is a beautiful spirit guide for you. I'm also asking, you have a guide who's working with you and wants you to get some energy healing. The name of this guide is Ella, E-L-L-A. Not all guides have names like Red Eagle. They have sometimes a very simple name. And that's her name. And she's working on getting energy healing, actually about circulation in the body and where your body, temperature-wise, gets cold sometimes or gets hot. I especially keep getting the left side of the body with you about getting that stronger. Also, yeah, I do get the hot and the cold with you. I keep getting that. And so to begin to regulate your body's temperature internally. You know, the purpose of yoga and learning how to do breath work, I would suggest to learn breath work. It's the power of how breathing can change the body's state of wellness. So generating heat within the body mentally. Also, how to cool down. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're really good at that. Speaking of the hot flashes, you've done a lot of work in this area. You want to talk about how you I'd love for you to share with people, like, how do you, I mean, look, you've given birth 5 times, you've been an athlete, you've done so many different things. What is it that you would say is a great tip for people on how to positively affect their physical well-being, or affect their physical body mentally?
Well, since you are so psychic, that was my next question that was actually coming in for me.
No way.
Yes. The next
No way.
question was about that. So, so the question was from Elisa from Long Island, New York.
Long Island.
Why is my anxiety off the chart? What is the intense energy I see all the time, especially at night in my bedroom? Elisa. So it's kind of like in line with what you're asking. So it's understanding. And okay, here's what I would want to do. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a clinical anything. I'm just going to talk to you guys about what I've discovered for myself and uncovered and figured out about anxiety, energy, being intense, and how to know the difference.
And then I'll answer part 2 about the spirit in her room.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. So you guys, listen, I know the conversation about anxiety is a big one, and I know that's not going to be tackled in the next 5 minutes, but I will say this. we're going to have to start learning as a collective how to start seeing things in a more micro fashion, or using a smaller paintbrush instead of a big giant brush, and being so general and covering up our feelings and emotions and our intensities and our spiritual awakenings and all the things we're going through with one big brush, and we just call it anxiety. Because if we were to take apart the word anxiety and really look at it and break it down to the moments when it occurs, what's happening around you, what did you eat that day, how did you sleep that day, what is your body chemistry going through, how old are you, what is your full biological profile, basically. Then you go into, where are you in your spiritual path? Are you just starting? Are you in the middle? Are you in the beginning? Get a temperature reading. So what's happening is a lot of people just use the word anxiety because they think that just covers the feeling of intensity. Intensity could mean you're in the middle of a giant spiritual awakening. Your whole heart is bursting open. Everything is changing. You're seeing things in a new light. Things are being lifted. Veils are being lifted. You're feeling completely re-energized. You can't sleep because you're super amped that you are now starting to experience yourself in a new way when you thought it was all over. All of a sudden, here you are in a rebirth. So all this can be going on, and you call it intensity. And you call it anxiety. It feels intense. You call it anxiety. On the other hand, it could also be biological. So you could be eating polyunsaturated fats. You could be having fried foods every day. You could be eating canola oil. You could be having high loads of sugar, high serving, like Coca-Cola, coffee with tons of sugar, Starbucks with tons of sugar, whatever, with anything that you want to eat with tons of sugar, and fried. So fried, tons of sugar. I know I'm not making sense to some people right now. Just stick with me. This is what happens sometimes when you have a hot flash. The brain does this. So as we learn, this is how it sounds. So as you have sugar and this polyunsaturated fats, and you have all these really high toxic types of chemicals going into your body, what happens is your body has an inflammatory response. Your body then reacts to that, and then that creates palpitations, that creates high blood pressure. You start to get anxious and anxiety, and you start to feel bad. You're gaining weight. You don't feel good in your body. You're not moving your body. You don't have normal circulation like you should. And so it just compiles, and before you know it, you call it anxiety. And she's just moving the camera with her tail all over the place. So
she is so spiteful sometimes. She will actually, you have a cat like that?
Unbelievable.
She's so sweet, but when she's mad, she will literally go and on purpose wag her tail.
Now she wants to come on my lap because she knew I had the dog. So she took her tail and hit the cord to the camera. Okay,
People are going to think it's an earthquake next time because we live in SoCal.
So bottom line is this, you guys.
Don't eat sugar.
Yes. But beside that, I just want to let you guys know, sometimes you don't know if it's anxiety.
Yeah.
It could be what you're eating. It could be you're in a spiritual rebirth. It could be that you're a sensitive empath and you don't know why you feel everybody's emotions in the entire family. There could be so many things happening, but we just cover it with this big general term, a big, huge paintbrush, and we just call it anxiety. And we don't know what it is. We just call it that. So no, you guys, do not mask very complex, micro, tiny chemicals and processes in your body and call it one giant thing and just call it a day.
So you have to basically kind of start piece by piece with getting more dialed into what it could be. So clean up your diet.
Yes.
Guys, you got what you put in. I think more than ever, we're realizing the most important thing that you can do for your health is be really conscious of what you're putting in your mouth.
Dr. Mark Hyman says food is mood.
Ooh, that's good. So speaking of mood, I have to tell you, I got another
Oh my God.
spirit shout out coming in. Do we have any spirit shout out confirmations?
Yeah, there is one thing, the crutches or walkers.
Yes.
Was that someone on the other side?
That's someone on the other side.
Okay, then not yet.
Yeah, it's definitely someone on the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I tell you something? Michael Pert said 8 months ago, you asked him who is Charlie.
8 months ago, I asked someone who is Charlie. Okay.
Yes. He said 1 week later, I met him.
Oh.
And by mid-2024, he said I'd be on my way.
Yes.
You were right on both. You're a whiz.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Okay, so I need to talk to someone. I need to give a message to someone who has on their window, I think it's a window unless it's a mirror, it's glass, a snowflake. You know when they have like decals or whatever to decal, or you glued it on, I don't know what it is, or you sprayed it on, but it is a snowflake. Is that you? If that's you, drop it in the chat box and I'll come and give you a message. Okay. Let's go. I see a big red orange box right there. What's that?
It's a super chat that just came in.
That was from Ingrid.
Okay.
Who you gave a message to.
Oh.
She was saying thank you.
Oh,
so
that's.
much for that message.
You're so welcome.
Okay, are you ready for your next one?
I am.
Okay, so, and by the way, Elisa, let me know if that helped you in some way. The explanation about anxiety.
I didn't get to what the spirit was in the room.
I see all the time, especially at night in my bedroom, the intense energy.
Okay.
I see.
Got you. So that happened to me many times years and years ago before I had a psychic awakening. Clearly, you have some connection to the other side, or and they would like you to develop it more. That's up to you. Now, even if the energy frightens you or disturbs you, you got to pull back a little bit and overall not let that bother you, right? Because you have to understand that there is... People say the spirit world to me all the time. And I say, you live in the spirit world. And there's really no difference in the fact that we are living together. It's not a separate world. It's just that we can't, for the most part, physically see the intelligence or the beings or the entities or the spirits or whatever you want to call it that are on the so-called other side. So it's just something you haven't seen yet. Doesn't mean it's not there. And what I want you to do is... First of all, it's very, very good for you to physically clean the room, then spiritually clean the room, sage. And what you're doing, guys, and I want to say this to everyone out there, when you sage, you're not going around your house with sage saying, I banish all negative energies and get out of my house if you're negative. That's not going to work. That's not the mindset that spirits who are there to cause trouble are in, because they usually claim that space as their own. So you cannot banish a spirit. It might work for a day or two, but they kind of mosey on back in. They're like, no, we're good. We were here before you, so we're going to still stay here. What you're doing when you're saging is, number one, the gratitude should be in your mind. So when you're saging, you light the sage, blow it. Now it's smoking. You go around your house and you say, thank you for this bed. Thank you for this roof over my head. Thank you for this food in this kitchen. Thank you for this doorway. I hope that everyone who comes through this door is more blessed and in peace than when they arrived. Okay, so this is how you go around and with gratitude, sage your home. That gratitude is far more powerful and a far more peaceful energy than I'm here to combat anything. So first do that in that room. Then I would probably grid the room with crystals to ground the energy. This is, you can use, look here. This is black obsidian. This is in a cube form, but you can use it in any form and grid the four corners just to give it some grounding. And then I would use some selenite to keep the vibration pretty high. So experiment with that. Meditate before you go to bed. And that should start to make a difference. Okay.
So
what? Got a spirit shout out?
Yeah.
What is it?
Were you going to say it? Sorry.
I was just going to say Griselda was saying about the bees being her spirit animal right now.
Uh-huh.
That her ears started ringing when you said it because in her property, I guess, there's really loud. The bees have been going really crazy lately. And they've been really especially loud in the last 2 days. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I say another fun fact about Griselda that she said in the chat?
Yes.
Her husband was head of the monster department for many years for the Power Rangers.
What?
Do you know I was on the Power Rangers?
No.
When I was doing stunt, you guys, I did stunt in LA.
I don't even know this.
We live in Los Angeles.
I don't even know this.
Because I was in the Terminator. I was in
don't
all
even
these
know
movies
this.
because I was a cop. You guys don't know this. But anyway, in my 20s, they put me in a lot of stunt positions, and I was in the Power Rangers.
That's great. It's good to know.
Sorry.
I'm the Yellow Ranger today.
Do you know we both have ribbed?
The Red Ranger.
They're ribbed. Do you see the material?
Oh, then
it's the
you're right.
same material. We always get
going
dressed
on?
separately. You guys never realize that. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
There's possible spirit.
Possible spirit shout out.
Snowflake.
Yeah, the snowflake.
So 3 different people have snowflake kind draw things on their windows.
And it's June, and they have snowflake decals on their window.
Apparently, that's the thing.
Say the names, and I'll know who it is.
Bernadette, Kimberly, or Lori.
It is Lori.
Okay.
Thank you. What is Lori saying?
Just that. She's a snowflake.
Have I ever given a reading to Lori before?
No, I don't think so.
Hi, Lori. So, yes, it's you. I know when I hear the names, because there were 3 people who have first of all, I think it's really wild that people have snowflakes on their windows in June. You know, as a medium, as a psychic, one of the things I teach my students is never question the weirdness of a message you get, because it's going to land. It could be the weirdest thing that makes no sense to you. It's going to make sense to someone. That's why I do these spirit shout-outs, because it's super fun and funny. And so, yeah, Laurie, message for you. Actually, Laurie, if you have a question, I'll take your question. So type it in.
I think she just wants to know so far what any
The snowflake. Okay, any message. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's not about the snowflake. It's just that's how your spirit guide was identifying you. Okay. In all the ways that you're trying to better yourself right now, really keep it simple. Don't get confused about, Lori, I'm talking to you. Don't get confused about, well, what do I do next? It's almost like you just have to show up. That is more than half of it, is just showing up. No matter what it is, I just want you to show up, and even if you don't have the energy to go do something that's really good for you, I want you to just show up. And this is what my guides are giving me a message to give to you. I'm asking, why did they identify you with the snowflake on the window? Because it's the childlike innocence that's within you. Oh, that's interesting. They're saying also it's healing inner child stuff. So you'll heal inner child stuff. This year is going to be about this self-exploration. This year is going to be about you can call it self-development, but I really want to say it's more about you're giving yourself a chance to explore areas that you've never explored before. And my guide just said, and to know that every snowflake is unique, and so are you, and to know that you're special. Okay.
Okay, so before I go to the next question, I just wanted to say, somebody brought up deja vu, and they said that when I talked about
I feel
the
like you
Power
said
Rangers,
that to me before. Dinosaur drink time.
I just got chills all through my body because I didn't know how to laugh right there at that joke.
We used to say in the Bronx, yo, that was so funny, I forgot to laugh. And then everybody would
That's
be
exactly
silent.
right. And by the way, you have some people from the Bronx. There's a lot of different people that have been shout outs from the Bronx. By the way, just want to let you know.
I want to know where in the Bronx you're from.
I wanted to talk to you guys about deja vu.
All right.
So I'm sure you guys have had deja vu. Some of you may or may not know what it is. I'm going to just say it really quick. Here's what I know about it, and confirmation from the guys, they say that is accurate. So deja vu means it's actually a bleed through, because you're attempting to do the same thing that you just did again in this new timeline. I'm going to explain. And what's happening is this time maybe you're having success doing it. So you are in the moment, all of a sudden you catch yourself like you relived that moment. You experience it again in that flash, that deja vu moment. You just are peering into that other timeline, which is a bleed through. That's what that's called, a bleed through. So for instance, let me give you an example. Okay. So this is you, and then this is your challenge, right? So you're trying to do something in your life, and you want to do something different. That's what this is. And so here you go, and you try to do it, and then what's happening is you go along, and then it becomes too hard, and you give up, and it's just too much, and so you just give up, and you just remove yourself from that situation. But your soul really wants to overcome and be successful with this challenge eventually. So you come back to it again, and you do it again and again and again in different timelines, which is something nobody here really can explain other than guides, because really, unless you are on the other side, You can talk about how timelines work, but it's very complex for us humans, and our brain is not, they don't have the capacity to fully understand how timelines work in a scientific way because it's not invented yet in our Earth time. We haven't invented how to explain how timelines work. We can only give the general overview. So what happens is, here's how deja vu works. So now you come back again and you want to experience this again because you want success in this challenge. You don't want this to stop you this time. So you try it again. It seems very familiar. Everything seems very familiar. You feel like you've done this before, even though you haven't. And then you keep going along, and all of a sudden you come across the crossroads. You've been here before. It's familiar. You don't know how you know about it, but you kind of feel it and you kind of know you've been here before. It's all kind of very, suspicious because it seems very familiar. And then all of a sudden, what happens to a lot of people is they have right here a bleed through, and it's called deja vu. Sometimes it lasts like really quick seconds, like flashes, and sometimes it's a little bit longer. It depends on how sensitive you are. And when this deja vu happens, you remember in that moment, oh snap, I've been here before. I've done this before. I've seen this before. I know these people. This has happened to me before. And there's a full moment you have with yourself. And as you go down and go along in your spiritual path, you'll start to spend more time understanding what deja vu is because it becomes more and more important. Where in the past, when it happens, you're like, oh, that was deja vu. I experienced this before. How cool. And you don't really know what that actually means. That actually means that you are starting over in a new timeline. You are trying it again, and this time you're going to get it right. That's why, and lastly, when you meet people sometimes for the first time, you go, oh, there you are. I remember you. It's been a while. And you're like, we've never met. But it is, you actually have met. It's just that this new, you're doing it like round 10, round 20, and this time you're going to get it right. And as you evolve and you become, more advanced, hopefully the goal is you go further and further along, and that's the plan, the hope, the dream. Okay, are you ready for your next questions? Okay, I would like to know the name of one of my guides and where I am at in my spiritual awakening. Thank you so much. My full name, I just did that one. Next one, sorry. Alicia, Raupp is her last name. How am I doing on my awakening? Also, am joining you at Mount Shasta next April.
Oh, that's great. Welcome. Okay. Alicia, Alicia?
Yes.
Okay, Alicia or Alicia. Oh, let me tap into here. Okay. That's very interesting. So, look, you already are stepping out of, I can see the work you've done on stepping out of where you've been angry. I can see that. So your guides are, number one, they're saying very good work you did on forgiveness, very good on letting go of anger, but you're also now looking at duality. You've been looking at contrast. You're looking at your ideas of right and wrong, dark and light. Now, let's talk about that, because many times that which is the darkest period of our life gives birth to the light. We find that was the richest time, that there was so much there for you. And so you're at the stage right now where you are figuring out how to get past the statement. You know how they say every cloud has a silver lining, and so you're only supposed to focus on that silver lining. And hey, that really was a terrible situation. That really sucked. But hey, there's a silver lining. That gets boring after a while. What I want you to see is, but the dark cloud had the rain that needed to fertilize the soil and drench it and give it the nutrients it needed. So it's not just the silver lining. It's, man, thank you for that dark cloud too, because that was full of so much of what I was needing and thirsting for as a soul on my journey. Okay, so that's where I see what you're doing. Another thing is, start to focus on, your guides are telling me for you to start focusing on textures and tactile things, meaning starting to touch things more consciously. So whether it's you're touching a fabric or you're touching a shell you pick up on the beach, it's going up to a rock and feeling it, the bark of a tree, allowing yourself to slow down enough to feel what is happening in the moment when you're touching something rather than, your preconceived notion of what it feels like. Because we do things all the time. If you look at life, many times some of the biggest awakenings that people have is when they come out of being sick and they're like, oh, I wish I could go run and feel, good again and just take a walk around the lake or jump in the ocean, but I'm laying here with the flu. And this new appreciation is born from that. Or you've sprained an ankle and you're just wishing you could dance again. And this new appreciation comes from that. So, and then when you do that thing, there's it's like you reset and you finally start to understand it more. It's like when you take a long break from the gym, take 2 weeks off completely from working out, and when you go back, you'll be stronger. Not only is your body going to systemically become stronger, but it's also going to understand how to lift that weight more carefully and more precisely. So it's being more connected to your physical body now, not by doing too much. I don't mean that, doing a lot of stuff, but becoming more present and slowing down in it. Okay.
Okay, so before I go into the next one, somebody mentioned about timeline jumping and the Schumann resonance.
That's so interesting.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, that's really interesting. Who said this?
That is from Jewel James.
So Jewel James, you actually got psychic on something I was thinking about just a few hours ago. Was the name Schumann was coming up for me. Schumann was a composer and is a composer, meaning he's on the other side. And he talked about the 432 hertz frequency. So today we were at this historic house in Pasadena, California.
Right.
Called called Castle Green.
Castle Green.
And we were there to check it out and scope it out because we're thinking about doing a paranormal investigation there. There's a lot of paranormal activity that happens there. So you don't even know this. So when I was walking around, do you remember so they open it up one day a year, and people who live in Castle Green actually open up some of their apartments to let you see this beautiful architecture that is turn of the century, and you don't see stuff like this. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the place was filled with spirits, all friendly. So do you remember when we walked into that really large space and the Argentinian gentleman who was he's an older guy now, retired, but he was a world-traveled concert pianist, and I was really drawn to talking to him. And on the poster that he had of himself, he had these old vintage posters with him on it for his concerts. It said Schumann. He was performing works by Schumann. And I made a mental note to talk to you about that.
So Schumann visited you before we went to visit the house?
Yes, and here is...
So because he knew that you were going to talk to him.
Well, he also knew that you, my friend, who was bringing up the Schumann resonance, was going to talk. And so we're connected right now.
Now, what I want to say about the Schumann resonance is I believe that these timeline jumps are personal. Yeah, I could see where, I don't know how the Schumann resonance exactly works, but I know that we personally have our own timeline jumping. It's very intimate, personal with our own life experience.
Right.
So I know that we're having timeline jumping that's happening because of our own spiritual growth and our own education. And our own evolution. Okay, so
what's the question about? What's the question?
No, it was just a comment.
But what was the question about the Schumann resonance?
There was no question. I said it was a comment.
But she brought it up.
Because we were talking about deja vu and timeline jumping.
Well, what does timeline jumping have anything to do with Schumann resonance? Does it?
Yeah, that's what she just said, and I read it to you. I said I heard the black spikes on the Schumann resonance page means timeline jumping.
Oh, that's what
I'm moving on. I'm moving on. So, there is somebody here from the Bronx, actually, Throg's Neck.
Throg's Neck? Wow.
Do you know this place?
Yeah, I haven't heard that in
my God.
30 years.
She would like to know. Her name is Jewel, please. Is that the same Jewel? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Okay, I had no idea.
Jewel,
that's
we got
crazy.
The Bronx connection.
Okay, I had no idea that was the same Jewel.
We got the Schumann connection.
Oh my God. Please let me know if you have a message for me from Source.
I sure do. Okay, so we were already connected with the Schumann thing. We're connected with the Bronx thing, though I'm not from Throg's Neck. Wow, I haven't even heard that in so long. Thanks for that flashback, Jewel. Let me drop in for you. Yes. Okay. So message for you is this, a few things. I'm getting, number one, physically, I don't know if you've ever had acupuncture, but you should get some. And the acupuncture is to balance the meridians of the body, Don't be afraid of it. If you're afraid of needles, please don't be. This is going to be really good for you, because what I see is that your body is needing an attunement. And I find that the benefits of things like acupuncture specifically are so profound for me psychically, because I see where energy flows and where energy gets blocked in people. I see it emotionally, I see it physically. And I feel for you, it's like you as a soul, people say your soul, you are a soul. So when I say your soul, please just kind of flow with me here. On the soul level, you're wanting to go to the next level. What's the next level mean? More open, more free, more peaceful, therefore more powerful. Okay, more connected, feeling guided. I do feel that you are here. You have a very strong caretaker energy in you. It just depends on how you're using that. Some people go into nursing or a doctor. Some people go into teaching. Some people are just there on a personal level, really there for their friends. I am feeling like I don't feel like this is in career-wise where you are fully expressed as yourself. I feel that's where you're if you want to call it the block, or where I could do a psychic acupuncture and open up that channel for you. I feel it's professionally. But I do feel you're on the path of finding that out, and I see that 2 years. In the next 2 months, you're going to really kind of get that spark. And over the next 2 years, that's going to start to come to fruition. So yes, that's the message. Also, I want to say, and you're going to have to answer this. Where is your mom, and what is your relation? Are you at peace with your mom? That's the question I want to ask you. Okay, next one.
All righty. Question from Gen X Karen. Mm-hmm. I guess that's her profile handle?
No, that wasn't their handle. That was how they identified themselves in their question.
I see.
Hi, Gen X Karen.
Okay. I'm moving this month to a 121-year-old house with a giant 100-year-old pecan tree. Any guidance for connecting with this special tree? I might have to prune 2 limbs. I bet the tree knows she's coming.
The tree, you already felt right into what my answer was.
The tree knows what's going on. It's been there long enough.
By the way, I want to tell you that you have a guide by the name of the way I would spell it is P-E-R-I. So it's Perry, but not spelled P-E-R-R-Y. It's P-E-R-I. Came right in when she was reading the question from you. And he is like a nature spirit and is going to work with you. So what you will do, when you get there, you should plant some flowers. Obviously, speak to someone who really knows about how to do that and what would work well with that land. But that's the gift that you're offering when you're there. And that is going to be appreciated. The spirits of the land there are going to welcome you. Another thing I would tell you is, as I'm tuning into you, I see this lifetime of yours where you were kind of a herdsman. And I see these goats, and I see these sheep, and I see this, I guess, smaller animals, and mostly I see goats. And you were a gentleman in that lifetime. And it was it's almost as if those spirits of those animals are still with you. And in this home, you will bring people together. And what the message I'm getting from the tree is to have even get a meditation going, or maybe even hire a sound healer. They're everywhere. And maybe have a sound healing gift evening that you give to some of your friends or your family and that tribe that's close to you. And all the spirits of those animals that you were with, that you were herding back in the day, their energy is going to bring a lot of love to that space. Sounds wonderful.
With all this talk of pecan, you know where my mind is going.
Oh, no.
Butter pecan ice cream?
Yes.
I'm going to Instacart right now.
Oh, yeah. But it has to be the low sugar, healthy kind, non-dairy. But Other than
You
that,
better Uber Eats it before every place closes, Erica.
Right.
As if
oh
you
my
don't have
God.
enough to do.
I'm getting chills all night tonight. I think every time I get chills
I got spirit
and I
shut up.
shudder, I think spirits are touching my shoulders or something because I keep shuddering.
Wait, I got some shudders too.
You were shuddering?
Yeah, it's happened to me like 3 times.
They're touching us.
That's because we're in this. Well, I
that
don't know why
okay?
she's getting it, but you got it because
Well,
you were
because
in
she's
that
in
house
the
today.
room.
Too, Riz.
No,
Oh my
but
gosh, there's not like a plexiglass.
No,
like
but you were
she's
walking
in
around that
a
building
controlled
today that
environment.
was super haunted.
Yes, but this room is super haunted.
This room is?
Yes. Do you know you're a medium?
She has to remind me that I'm a medium.
Do you know
sometimes.
you call in? You have like a loudspeaker
Do you
over
remember
there on the
time we
other
were in-
side.
Do you remember the time we were in our house that was super haunted? We were downstairs. And we had just moved in. It was like the second day. And this crash of like pots and pans came from the second floor of this house. Mind you, there's no pots and pans on the second floor of this house. It was just the kids' bedrooms. And no one was home but she and I. Second day of moving into this 100-year-old house. Speaking of 100-year-old houses. And we froze. We were doing something like in the dining room, and we heard this crash upstairs, and we both froze. And then she looked at me like, I didn't know why she was looking at me a certain way, but it was for me to go and check it out. And then I was like, okay, I'll go. And she's like, you're a medium. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm a medium. Yes, I'm a medium. I'm gonna go. All right, let's go. Let's go check it out. That was an amazing story.
I know.
That we'll tell you another time.
It's
Okay.
actually in one of our podcasts that we did called Magical Moments. Was it our most magical moments?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
Okay, so this question is coming from Joe, J-O-L-A, Joe Law.
Jola.
The question is,
Yes.
so I'm Joanne in Charlottesville, Virginia, which we're going to be there.
We're going to be in Virginia, guys, not in Charlottesville.
Are we totally booked out? Like there's no
No,
room?
it's a good time to say that, huh? We have a couple of spots left for Oriah and I are
this-
doing a shamanic healing weekend in Virginia, close to Washington, D.C., at a beautiful property at one of our students' houses.
Yes.
And it's going to be a channeling circle, and the next day there's a shamanic medicine journey, and we do have a couple of spots left. So you guys can spend the weekend with us and be a part of all of this in person. If you're interested in that, I think this is the last 2 spots or 3 spots.
2.
Last 2 spots, guys. So
Maybe, Erica,
drop
you
it
can
in.
put the link.
If you're on the East Coast, I mean, hey, this is what better opportunity than to be a part of this. So, okay.
Okay, so her question is, my boyfriend Dave is in the hospital in France. When will he be coming home?
Oh, my goodness.
I felt that one.
I feel kind of like pain in different parts of my body as she's talking about him. Why do I feel banged up? Did he get banged up? He's going to really need... what's going on?
He's backwards.
No, it's not backwards.
Yeah. It's backwards.
It is? Is it backwards?
It's backwards. Sorry. This is a very important message.
I think
don't
I
wanna
like it this
disturb.
way.
Okay. They can go either way.
It looks more medieval.
Okay. Well, Jola hates me right now, so
Jola, don't worry. I didn't forget
Joanne
about you.
actually is like, wow.
Joanne, I didn't forget about
how
you.
rude. Sorry.
Joanne, I was just tuning into him. Suddenly started. I feel things when someone is sick. I feel in my body. That's the way it tells me. Boy, he's going to need a lot of care. I mean, I see the healing process for this is like literally up to a year and a half as the overall healing process from this. And as long as he slows
She
down.
says broke his ankle.
Broke his ankle. This is like a year and a half. As long as that's why I see the babying. That ankle is going to take, again, a year to a year and a half is where going back. So my message what I was saying was slowing down. And he just really, really has to slow down. And this is an opportunity for David to drop in with his thoughts. Actually, I feel he feels things on a very, very deep level, but he holds things like bursting with emotion inside, but it hasn't come out yet, it hasn't burst yet. And the body was speaking to him and saying, every step you take is precious, and don't put so much pressure on yourself or on others. He has to take this time over the course of this next year to relax into life. And that doesn't mean that you are now boring, David. It doesn't mean that you're boring, okay? Just because you slow down. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes. Want to say one quick spirit shout out, guys. I need to say the name Dion or Diana. Okay, go on.
All right. Gabriella S.E. Hi. Last October, I asked you for guidance, stay or leave. The answer was to wait 6 months. Feeling lost, going through many changes. Please help me. Okay.
The answer was to wait 6 months.
I don't have more information. Should we get more information?
Yes, I need more. That's not really a clear...
Right. Okay, let's go to Teresa. Hello from Cincinnati. I'm currently undergoing energy healing. Do my guides think this is the best use of my time and money right now?
Yeah. Okay. So this is good for the first layer. You know, think about when you want to repaint a wall. Sometimes you use paint thinner to get the varnish off of the wood, and then you have to use a sander to get the rest off. So this is good as like the paint thinner. This starts to help dissolve the top layer. What I see here, I would say, I'm always honest. So, but specifically, I don't see more than a month or two of this for you. I wish you could come and be a part of what we're doing in Virginia. But if you can't, here's what I would suggest. I think you need a change of scenery if this is possible. And that's up to you. You can make it happen if you really want to. But I feel like you're highly, highly in need of intellectual stimulation. And I feel that your best healing modality for yourself is when you are challenged mentally, meaning intellectually, different kinds of conversations. Energy work is good, but energy work doesn't last, guys. I do energy work, and I will always tell you it doesn't really last 99.9% of the time, because whatever pain you're having, there has to be a message you're getting from that pain that on a spiritual level, and then you process that and clear that. Your body is this interface with this reality, and your body often will be picking up stuff that you're not mentally paying attention to. So by the time something happens to your body, you break the ankle or you get the flu, or by that time it's because you didn't hear all the more subtle messages. So the reason I teach people to practice meditation and calming themselves down and slowing things down is so that they can actually live a physically healthier life too, because when you're more in tune with your body and you're peaceful and not rushing through life, you hear the subtle messages from the body before bigger problems happen. Okay? So the energy work is good for now. Again, finding a more regenerative, self-regenerating practice, such as breath work, such as Qigong. Qigong, that's it for you. Learn Qigong. Okay.
Okay. So, give me 1 second. I just had it. One second.
I have a spirit shout out. Is there somebody who's watching right now that is cooking spinach or put spinach in the blender or something, or is pureeing spinach? Isn't that funny? Somebody on the other side was watching you tonight. Isn't that really funny? They're showing this to me. Specifically spinach.
I might have a confirmation.
You might have a confirmation from Dion. Oh, that was a spirit shout out.
Yes. I'm just seeing like when she crossed, or making sure that if she did cross, But Chantel says Dion is my mother's name.
Okay, so the message is for...
She is living.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I didn't say the person has crossed over. I'm just saying I needed to say that name.
Got it.
So the message is for Chantel.
Yes.
Hi, Chantel. Do you have a question for your mom or about your mom? Let me know. Okay.
Okay, Tracy Chance. Hi, Lady O and Riz. I'll be seeing you guys this October in Joshua Tree.
Oh.
Do you have any messages or guidance from my galactic soul family or origins?
Thank you.
Oh my God, you're going to have so much fun.
The Joshua Tree retreat is incredible.
It is so much fun.
Guys, let me just tell you, take this opportunity.
Oh my God.
Tracy, can't wait to meet you in October, first weekend of October. It is a weekend in Joshua Tree. If you don't know what Joshua Tree is, just Google it.
Well, first they have to understand that this is not an ordinary retreat.
This is not a shamanic retreat. This is a psychic ET channeling and ET communication retreat weekend. Okay? So what this means is I channel an alien group, an interdimensional group called the Echelon, also known as the Friends, and we published a book where it has these channelings. So I began receiving communication from this interdimensional group, and I offer that in my book and also in live channelings. Now, when we are in Joshua Tree, I'm channeling this live privately for our group. We also go and spend several hours at night in Joshua Tree, deep into Joshua Tree National Forest, which is all red rocks, by the way, and Joshua trees. And we have a private space with an astronomer, and we have a whole setup. We have night vision goggles where you are going to see the sky as our ancestors saw them 1,000 years ago. Literally the entire sky is going to light up, and you are going to see actual UFOs. It happens every single time. We identify all the flight paths so you know which ones are the planes, and we show you that. We show you the satellites so you can track that. And other than the planes and other than the satellites, you will see craft, and it's going to blow your mind. You're going to say, how is this happening? How is this possible? Where is the news cameras? Why don't people talk about this? Well, they do talk about it, and you're going to get to be a part of it, and you'll be with us. And there's a sound healing at the Integratron. It's going to be amazing. So
Tracy says that she bought the book and she loved it. So what we did was we transcribed about 4 years, a total, I think it was 4 sessions.
4 sessions.
That the Echelon sat with us in groups, and we asked questions, and it's a full book. You can really read the details.
Yes.
We cover about 35 major cosmic topics, earth topics, creation topics.
Tracy, what I'm getting is actually you're going to connect with your Atlantean lifetime. So bring a couple of crystals with you that are your favorite, by the way, to that retreat, because we're going to activate them and use them in some healing work on you. So Atlantean life is what I see. Okay, so message for you coming through. Thank you. I have to go back to April of last year is where they're bringing me with you. You had just ended a cycle. This cycle was where there was, it's pretty deep, the message. It is about where there were some people around you. The only way I can say this to you is kind of taking your energy, kind of greedy, kind of deceitful. It was sort of like those people had to fall off. And those were your interdimensional guides were with you because you are fiercely on your path. And you had to go to that next stage of your evolution. So it was from last April, and this is still going on. This is going to go on for the next 7 years with you. Very, very good. Stretch your body, specifically middle back. They're saying you should be working on this 3rd chakra. So that would be the solar plexus chakra with you. Focus on that in your meditations. And, okay, give me a moment, 1 second. I had a question I was asking about the Atlantean life, about why they were bringing that in, because I always want to bring a reason to you why they're talking about it. It's not just about saying, oh, you're an Atlantean, and somebody gets happy. There's a reason for them bringing that up. Actually kind of tied into what you were saying earlier about deja vu, when one timeline from another dimension of you kind of meets up at the same point, and you have to make a choice now.
Yeah.
So this is about how deep you want to go into your own healing and into your own transformation. The transformation, look, here's a simple way of defining transformation, guys. Transformation is when you surrender to who you really are. You don't have to change. You just suddenly, it happens because you surrender to yourself, and other people go, wow, you've really changed. And all you're saying is, actually, no, I'm more myself than ever. That's all it was. So that's the message from them, and more in person when we see you in October. Okay.
Erica,
Hi.
do you want to explain the Heather one to Riz? Because she says, my name is Heather, and to confirm your question several months ago. That one?
Yes.
Oh.
Can you explain it?
And then Chantal has her question.
Okay.
Let me look at this again. Sorry. Oh, okay. So
Yeah, go ahead.
No, what is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say something. My phone lit up, so I never checked my phone. It lit up, and it was Jenny going, that yellow sweater. So you going to text me? Really? You going to do that? You going to text me in the middle of
During
my
the
live
show.
podcast? Jenny, you are so funny.
She's laughing right now.
Okay, so you had given a message to Heather several months ago.
Okay.
About her father who crossed over.
I gave Heather a message about her father
I guess
who crossed over a few months ago. Okay.
you had said February was an important month.
Yes.
And she's confirming, yes, that was her mother's birthday.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Confirmation.
Oh, that's nice.
And she also wanted to know the name of her guide.
Thank you. Heather, you wanted to know the name of your guide. Thank you. Sapphire. And I would even get that stone if I could and wear it around my neck if I were you. What a cool name for a guide. You know, interesting, the color of sapphire is the color of the third eye chakra. So that's also very auspicious. I'm asking what is the work to be done that is most necessary for you right now?
So I'm going to take a question when you're done.
Okay, so the next step for you.
Oh, I didn't know you were still on it. Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't given her the message yet.
Wasn't paying attention. Sorry. That's what happens.
So your dreams are going to get very insightful. Your dreams are going to get very insightful. I would start to keep a dream journal. Don't be obsessive about it, but just keep a dream journal maybe a couple of times a week if you can write down these dreams. You don't need to just make sense of them just yet. All I want you to do is do without thinking too much. I know that's hard for you to just do without thinking, but try your best. So that simply means that you wake up, you write down the dream as best as you can, and you forget about it. Don't try to analyze it. And let that be for the summer. And then we'll talk about this again in the fall. Okay.
This question is from Moanne. I'm going to take the question, but you could also answer too. The question is, any advice for raising psychic, sensitive young children? I have an amazing 3-year-old wizard who literally reads my mind daily, but any general tips to empower and encourage these beautiful souls? Thank you. So here's what's happening, Moanne, is we're going to see a lot of this if we haven't already for the last, take it back as far as you want to go till current day. You'll notice the new generations, they keep coming. There's a lot of, crystal children and all these wonderful, wonderful beings that are just really advanced. As you can see on YouTube, there's 8-year-olds doing full piano concertos and completely doing things that, we couldn't even dream of when we were kids, but it's happening more and more. More and more psychic kids are coming. I talked to Red Eagle about this one time, and he says this young generation, I guess they're around 5 now. This generation that's coming is very...
Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha. They're really highly intuitive, very, very advanced souls. So here's the best thing we can do. Well, obviously we're teachers to our kids, but we're also students to our kids. So they're here to actually guide us and teach you and elevate you and elevate us. Okay. So what you do is you allow him to guide you throughout certain periods of time. There's times when you have to be a mom and do your parenting that you have to do because he is a kid, but let him tell you and guide you in the sense of like where he wants to go next. If he wants to go outside and you have the time, and he wants to go outside and he wants to walk under the tree and he wants to look up at the tree and he wants to talk to the tree spirits, then you stand there and ask him, what are they saying? And he just keeps that dialogue going with you. And then he points at something else. And then what's happening there? And then, oh, what are you drawing? Oh, what's happening there? Oh, what did you dream last night? Oh, what did that thing say to you? Now, it's a fine line. Obviously, you want to keep the psychic abilities open because all children, we're really all born with it, but it just manifests differently. And of course, we want to nurture and keep our children's psychic abilities open. However, this is where it's going to fine tune you and you're going to become astute as a parent, is that you have to also know that these children are going to join public school systems or regular school with like kids that don't really know what this is. So some of them do, some of them don't, and you don't want them to get bullied. So there is a fine line where they're going to start to understand if you kind of gently encourage them to keep these conversations in a environment where they feel like this is their productivity area. This is where they're the most psychically creative, is in this space. This is a nice, safe place where you can explore and expand yourself in the ways that you know how to say that make them feel secure and happy and comfortable. And this is the place to do it. Because at school, we're focused on other things. At school, we do other things. It's not that we're trying to suppress, but we want to raise well-balanced children that they can still interact with kids at school and not say things that are going to elicit bullying. And then they're in turn going to shut down and then repress their psychic abilities and then get bitter and sad and depressed because they can't be themselves. So it's the parent's responsibility to be very sensitive and finely tuned yourself that you can teach your children how to live in these kind of both worlds without suppressing. So just be very gentle. When you're with psychic children, you just be very gentle and allowing. That's the key.
Did she say how old her child is?
Yes, 3-year-old.
Oh, 3. Wow. Well, do you know something? There is that show where even those 3-year-olds were remembering their past lives.
Yes.
So it's not, what you're saying is it applies to even a 3-year-old. So as time goes on, and look, I was psychic as a child and my parents didn't know a lot about that. So I still found my way, even though my parents didn't know. And I don't want you to think that you're going to make some mistakes, because being a parent, wouldn't you say, is like we make mistakes, but they're not really mistakes. They're just you're doing your best. So my parents did not know about this, guys, to make a long story short. And how did I find my way? And a lot of mediums will tell you this, through creative endeavors. I didn't know I was doing it, but I was using my psychic intuition to learn how to play the guitar or the drums or how to draw or paint. I was channeling through these creative outlets and extensions of myself. And so that's what your child may end up doing. My teacher, Alex Murray, who I will always talk about because I believe that we should always honor our teachers as often as we can. He was a cellist. And his family didn't know about, these psychic abilities of his, but it came out through the music. And in fact, that was his teacher. His teacher was the cello. And
that's how psychic kids can integrate that into a public school system if they have to go and they can't be homeschooled, etc. Either way, somebody mentioned having them homeschooled to avoid public schools.
Like the new X-Men.
And I do agree to whatever degree. I do agree. But I do want to say, eventually, the homeschool kids still have to integrate with the wild savanna of humans.
The Serengeti of the urban jungle, right?
They still got to go out to the Serengeti. Or the suburban
jungle, right?
The suburban jungle. And, I've met adult homeschool kids, and they're very special. They're very bright. They're very happy. They're very precious. but I also saw where they weren't able to distinguish or having the same kind of discernment, the street smarts.
Yeah, that's true.
That we all had. And they kept getting themselves into trouble and being taken advantage of, etc. Yeah. That's a problem. So that's kind of like the socialization. And it's the same with even our pets. We have to socialize our pets. So it's the same kind of thing. You have to they have to be socialized to whatever degree, but not in such a safe environment that they don't get the full aspect of the rainbow of colors of people out there in the world. Because eventually they're going to have to, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that. So,
any spirit shout out confirmation?
Yeah.
No, but we did have Chantel circled back with the question about.
Okay, Chantel, what's your question about Dion?
How can I fulfill my relationship with my mother in this lifetime? We both have been in and out of each other's lives, and I just wonder if the separations have been necessary.
So Chantel said, look, you guys are just tuning in. I kept hearing the name Dion, and I said, who's connected to Dion? Chantel goes, that's my mom. The question is, Chantel, what is it about your mom that I'm supposed to answer in this question? And she said, she and I have been in and out of each other's lives. What do I do? How do I complete this karma? What is it there? Just remember something, Chantel. Please try to, and everyone, drop in with me here. Red Eagle said, somebody asked once to Red Eagle in a channeling circle. Red Eagle's my gatekeeper, my spirit guide. And they said, Red Eagle, why do I have the family that I have? And Red Eagle said, do you really want to know? And everyone perked up in the circle of light and said, yes, I got to know why. And Red Eagle said, and drop in with me here. I'm going to say it. He said, you have the family that you have because Great Spirit wanted you to get to know intimately people with whom you would never choose to associate with otherwise. And perhaps even to love them.
Learn to love them.
So this is where we are at. Look, this is the structure of reality as we are sharing it with you. Makes sense, right? I mean, think about it. So, Dion, listen, it had to come through tonight. Weren't you freaking out that you're sitting there watching YouTube and then I'm telling you about your mom's name? I would freak out. But I'm still amazed at it because every single day that the messages come through, I have to say, my God, we really aren't alone. We really, really, really aren't alone. And the reason I'm saying these words to you is that your mom has felt alone. And that's what she was battling most of her life, is feeling alone. And she probably says, why won't people leave me alone? That's her number one complaint. Why won't these people stay out of my business? Why don't they leave me alone? And it was because her tendency was to shelter inside of her own world. And where you will break the cycle is where you don't do what she does. Not because she's a bad person, because she's not, but it's about where you just begin to let go. Now, you will say, but I have done that. And I go, right, but it's not about patience. See, we have patience because there's things that we can't stand. The farmer does not have patience.
I've given that message to people before.
Right?
You only have patience when the thing is not what you want to see or where you want to be at, or you only need patience when you're in conflict with the thing.
Right.
So
a farmer doesn't need patience
if you accept it or
and so the
if
farmer
you're one
doesn't.
with it. Yeah.
Right. So the farmer, she's one with her farm. She knows the cycle of the seasons. She's not waiting and rushing spring or fall or winter or summer to come.
Because she knows the process.
Right.
And she knows how long things take, and she knows how much nutrients need to go. And sometimes your crop is going to fail, and then you got to wait and start in the next season and start over. How many stories do we have? How many stories do we have of things we tried and then we gave up, and then we started again and we gave up, and then we try, and then we wait, and then we forget about it, and then we come back to it, and then all of a sudden it was time and we were ready. So,
okay.
Yeah. So Connie Phillips has a question.
Connie Phillips.
She'd like to know how's her spiritual growth coming along and where is she headed to now?
That's very, very kind of you to ask that question because it's a very vulnerable question. And thank you for allowing me to tap into such a powerful question as how's my spiritual growth. And when I peer into this and I ask my own guides to give me a message on this, know that it's coming from a great place of peace and love, and please, if it fits, try it on for size. If it fits, please use it. If it doesn't fit, try and make it fit. Sometimes you got to try and make things fit. Okay. All right. Let me see. How am I doing in my spiritual growth? There was a book. I don't know anything about this book. I see people write it in quotes. I see people use it as their social media handle. I've just seen the term Atlas Shrugged.
Oh, I read it.
Okay. I know nothing about it. I know that. I've heard that name. I've never read it. I don't know if it's a real person. I don't know if it's a character. I don't know if it's a movie. I don't know.
It's a book, and it was made into a movie.
Okay. I don't know anything about all of it. All I know is that those words exist out there. Atlas Shrugged.
I think she was an atheist.
Okay,
right?
So
for those of you who know.
But someone like me who's never dived into those books or anything, what is Atlas? So Atlas is holding the world up, and Atlas Shrugged would be like just drops the world. That's how I interpret it. So the message to you is you're learning the difference between I don't give a damn anymore. You can replace the word damn with a much more powerful word if you want. I don't give a damn anymore, or I don't care anymore, versus I'm not triggered by that anymore. See, the moment we say, I don't give a damn, or I don't give a shit, or I don't give a about that, there's still an emotional trigger going on there. And that tendency of emotional trigger tends to attract that vibration again. So our inner work is to let go, relax, and go to the root of why we're even triggered by something. And once we clear that, we no longer are in the combative mode with it. We're like, oh, that doesn't trigger me anymore. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that person was screaming at me. Okay, I wasn't triggered. I was just going to see what was at the root of that conflict. You see? So that's where you are going to be growing and stepping into, but they're giving you a high five. You're being more conscious of how you speak. That's what they're saying. This is specifically for you. It's Connie, right?
Yes.
Connie. Hi, Connie. Where are you from, Connie? I don't know why I want to ask that. Do you not live where you were raised? I do have a message for you. You know, it's interesting. This is another book. Was this a book, and maybe Erica, you know, was there a book called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings? Maya Angelou wrote that poem. Read that poem. Is Maya Angelou crossed over now?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I guess she's working with you. Maya is working with you. And interesting, the word Maya in ancient Indian culture is the illusion of separation, basically it's about. When Maya is, people say it's the illusion. It's not the illusion. It's really, you have to go further with that. It's the illusion of separation between you and Source. There's no separation.
Her crossing anniversary was May 28th.
No way.
Yeah, because she crossed in 2014.
What does that say? Aged 86, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Are you anywhere near that? I'd be interested to know that. Because it's interesting, because I asked her where she's from.
She says she's in Florida.
In Florida. Oh, that's on the East Coast. It's not too far from North Carolina.
Not at all.
Okay, that's your message, my friend. Many blessings to you. All right. I got a message. A spirit shout out. By the way, no one answered that spinach question?
Not exactly. There were a couple people that kind of said they do things with spinach, but...
It was today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, message for you. Somebody also today was fixing the closet. You know when the bar that goes in your closet, did it keep falling down today? Or have you been trying to fix that? Because your spirit guide is telling me, talk to that person who had it's the bar in the closet. And I just keep seeing it fall. And you haven't fixed it yet. If that's you, let me know. I have a message for you. Okay.
Okay, next message is from Gabrielle. Hi, I'm new here. I'd love to get any messages from my spirit guides. My dad passed away on November 23rd, 2016. His name is Ray.
And her name is Gabrielle.
Yes.
And Ray crossed over?
Yes.
Boy, I know you've shed tears over this, and he knows. He's like, keep showing me a handkerchief, and like, almost like a symbol of, you know, when you cry, when you stop someone from crying, you offer them a handkerchief.
Gabrielle is saying something.
Oh, she had the date wrong, October.
Oh.
The date's
just
okay.
correcting the-
As long as it was 6 months ago, that's fine. The specific date doesn't matter. The name and your name and his name is the most important thing. Did somebody in the family, Gabriella, either have something wrong with the pancreas or the stomach? This area right in here. I don't know if it was Ray, but is it Ray or somebody else who also crossed over? And is there also someone that somebody called Junior? They called them Junior, or is Ray a junior? Or is there a junior still left? Because he just said Junior. I don't know what that refers to, though. When he crossed over, he was expecting the gates of heaven and the pearly gates. You know, the pearly gates, they say the gates of heaven. And they gave it to him. They gave it to him. And I go, what do you mean they gave it to him? Is that not real? Well, guys, when you cross over, kind of the thing that you expect, that you're waiting your whole life to, that's what's got to be when you cross over, they give that to you. Why? Because you've built up all this expectation that it's going to be like that. And so they want to be nice to you and go, look, it's much bigger than what you think it is, but we're going to give you this so that when your soul leaves your body, you feel like, okay, I'm good. I'm in heaven. That's what I expected to see. All right, cool. There's grandma, or there's my dog. Okay, cool. There's Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad or Krishna or whoever you think is you're going to see. You will see them. It's not that they're not real. It's just that they have to cater to you so that you don't freak out when you go to the other side. He got exactly what he needed. Is there some connection? Was somebody really into baseball here? Did he close to the family? Again, I don't know if this is Ray or this is someone else, because I feel like there's more people here I need to talk about. Also, Gabrielle, is there someone here who died of not such pleasant circumstances, if you know what I mean? So was your dad friends with that person? Meaning they were a victim of a crime. I know I asked you a couple of questions, but I do need to know those answers so I can sort out who's here on the other side.
She did say that her dad was a junior.
Her dad's the junior. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So Ray is the junior, because he said, when you said Ray, he said junior. So I don't know that he's a junior? Okay, so then the Ray senior is there too. Okay.
She doesn't know anything about baseball.
Doesn't know about the baseball reference. That's fine. Do you know about there's somebody that they knew that died from a crime? That's what I want to know. Are we waiting to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Last but not least, I'm also asking about you. You're a blessing, and this is the words that they're using. He wants you to know you have always been a blessing. And yes, you are that, like, there's an expression like you're the apple of his eye, that kind of feeling he's giving me.
He grew up in the deep south.
He grew up in the deep south?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that, okay, it's good to know. Is that an answer to, did he know someone who died of a crime? I don't know if that's the answer. Yeah, I mean, like, somebody was shot is...
She said there was lots of KKK stuff.
Lots of KKK stuff.
I'm guessing it's something.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. I just, it's heavy, but they knew someone. Anyway, that they are on that side. Also, is there a David connected to you guys, Gabriella? Wanted to know that. But yes, very, very well. Also, July, big heart around the month of July. There must be something going on in July that he's putting the heart around. He felt... Oh, did you feel in the middle of the night someone holds your hand or holds your wrist? Because he's saying, he's showing me, he's touched your hand from the other side. It's that hand-to-hand connection. Okay. That's what I have for you right now.
She said Darius, her brother. I think that was something earlier, not the hand.
Okay.
Because of the little delay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's go on.
Okay. So, lots of things.
Why does it look like my head's cut off over there? Oh, she scrolled down.
Oh my God.
Leo.
No, I just thought maybe we didn't catch it. Like when the cat hit the
Leo.
camera. What'd you say?
It said that I was going to be in trouble.
You was going to be in trouble. You was going to be in trouble.
So,
Okay. Not last spirit shout out. Are we at last spirit shout outs?
yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh my God.
It's already...
If you or someone you know was born on Easter Sunday, or the wedding anniversary was Easter Sunday, let me know right now, before we sign off. Hey, I have a request for everyone, and you were going to drop it in the comments. We were going to ask people, because people have been joining the show since October.
I sent it.
She did.
To write a little testimonial for us guys on it's like a little review, and there's a link, you click it, and you can just talk about the show. We'd really love it. Helps to spread the word about the show, and maybe there's some experience or what you like about the show, and it's a little service that we use, and it goes in our Google reviews, and we'd love for you to do that. So if you would take a moment out of your amazing, precious time to do that for us, we'd be so appreciative and so happy that you share the good word. Thank you. Erica, the link is in the description?
Yes, I just reposted it.
She just reposted it. Just click it and type. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.
So what I would like to share with you guys, I lost my train of thought 3 times while Riz was talking. Mm-hmm. So let's see if I can remember. I was going to talk about what happens when you cross over. There was this one thing I was going to address, and then I moved on from that. And the next thing I was going to talk about was great, but since I'm having a hot flash, I completely forgot. And it was actually really good. Brain is frying.
Your brain is frying?
Yeah. I mean, it was really good.
You need some butter pecan ice cream?
I do need some.
We'll give you some butter pecan ice cream, baby.
Just hang on to me while I'm floating here in space.
All right, come on.
I actually had a really good note I wanted to give everybody. Shoot, and I can't remember what it was, and it sucks because it was so good. I was like, don't forget. All right,
what's the? Okay.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. It just came. Got it. Okay, so there was a couple questions from a couple of you who have asked, how do I know, like, if I'm going through the awakening process, or like how do I know if I'm on the spiritual, like if I'm having a spiritual awakening? How would I know, like, what are the signs? So, you know, some of us have these really big, huge, like, awakenings that happen within like 24 hours, and we're just like a different person. We're just like, oh my God, like it's like being on like some massive like brain opening illuminating thing. And it doesn't happen to everybody like that. Sometimes it comes in gradual stages. So here's a good test, you guys, and I think this will be really fun. I'm going to give this to you before we leave. I know we didn't get to everybody tonight, and I really appreciate everybody hanging in there, and please come back next weekend. I think we're going to be here. It's Father's Day.
We're here.
Father's Day. Okay.
We'll do a Father's Day special.
Don't say anything else because I'll forget.
Okay.
So here's what the special tip that I have for you guys. Give yourselves a timeline. Let's say a week, 7 days. Do this experiment. Every day during your waking hours, what you're going to do is this. From morning to night, you are going to only look at everything from a positive place, like a gift. Like, this is a gift. from the universe, from my guides, from my higher self, from anyone, and try it, okay? It's just an experiment, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen at the end of this. This is how you're going to kind of get an idea if you're having an awakening. If you spend every single day looking at everything in your life and finding the positive, even if it doesn't look like it should be positive or it doesn't feel positive, except for like the really extremely bad things like violence, etc.
Right.
But like, you know, you're just looking for, I guess most people would say, like, look for the shine on the penny. Look for something that's good about what you're looking at. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to start rewiring your brain, and you're going to start teaching yourself to redefine and reinterpret how you look at your life, giving yourself the opportunity to look at life in a completely new way. Because if you are having a spiritual awakening, you will know, because it will all start to click and make sense. If you feel like you're having a spiritual awakening, but you keep repeating the same negative mantras day in and day out, every day, week after week, then you are holding back the baby from being born. So it's like you're holding back your progress, because your old patterns and old stories and old programs keep running in the background, but your whole body wants to rejuvenate, refresh. Your whole spirit wants this upgrade. So in order to start to soften this, you know, I'm a mother, I have to use birthing analogies, right? So this, to soften the cervical dilation, in order to do that in your life, for you to have your awakening, you're going to have to soften the way you see everything. So you're going to have to take the hard edges off. Stop giving yourself these hard blows, these negative comments, all this like hard talk that you give yourself about life in your head, in your silent moments. It's preventing your natural inclination that your body wants to have an enlightened experience. Your body wants to upgrade. Okay. So the only way to allow yourself to do that is you have to start softening things up around you, so that you can start changing your mindset. Your whole body is going to start changing. Your chemistry is going to start changing. Your dopamine levels will change. Your synapses will change. The way your positive endorphins are going to be working in your body will change. You're going to start changing the way you think. And you cannot have a spiritual awakening without a full transformation.
Yeah.
It's a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to start somewhere. And if you guys are cold turkey, you know, when you're pregnant, for those of you who know, and you want to start the labor, you want to induce the labor, right? Mm-hmm. And you do anything to induce the labor. Mm-hmm. So in order to do that, you have to start doing these little things to get you going. So hopefully you guys, until we see you next week, let us know how it went for you this week. I challenge you guys to take this on. Everybody and anybody who has any questions in this area, just try it. Get back to us next Sunday and give us your results.
Yeah.
We want to hear how this went for you. And if you got further along in your understanding, if your dreams changed, let us know. And you can journal this also. And that
Well, we got
is
one more
all.
thher thing. There's another spirit shout out.
we got a
What do
spirit shout out.
Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
So we already talked to Tracy Chance,
Uh-huh.
but her nephew Cooper crossed on Easter Sunday this year. He was 14. He played baseball and knew everything there was to know of the sport. Beautiful soul.
Thank you. Okay, so it was that he crossed on Easter Sunday, because it was very important. It was something I wanted to end tonight with. And his name is Cooper?
Yes.
Well, my friend, and her name is Tracy?
Yes.
Well, Tracy, look, he waited till the very end, and I don't know, he was just like, Easter Sunday. I didn't know what that meant. Birthday, anniversary, but it was like Easter Sunday was. But, you know, it's interesting that when I get a birthday, I'll say the date, and I'll go, was this person's birthday this day? And a lot of the time when I do these readings, someone will say, no, but they passed on that day, meaning they died on that day. And I have asked my spirit guides, why did I think it was a birthday while I'm giving the psychic reading? And then this person tells me, no, that's not their birth, that's when they died. Here's why. Because that birth and death are just two sides of the same coin. Imagine that there's a doorway, okay? And on one side is the other side, and the other side is earthly life. Death lasts for a millionth of a second, if at all. When does it last? Is when the soul goes through that doorway. That one moment where the soul is going through the doorway, that's what some people will call death. So anyway, that's why I got Easter Sunday, that the birthday was then. But anyway, of course, he's going to top it all off because that's what he does. A few messages ago, I kept hearing baseball. I was giving a message to this woman whose father Ray passed, but baseball kept coming in so strong, and I'm like, there's no baseball connection here? And she's like, no, there isn't. Well, talk about bleed throughs. So Cooper is making his way here to tell you he's fine. He knocked himself out of the park. He's on a rocket ship. And great. Wow. You guys can use his room for anything that you want. Just make sure it's fun. Or, to his parents, turn that into your meditation room. Turn that into a fun room. It's like he wants it still to be about fun. And all you have to do is just keep the baseball cap. Just keep the baseball cap. Put that like in a glass cube if you want, or just hang it up there in the room. Make that room a game room for mom and dad to have fun, or anyone that wants to come over and have fun, or the siblings to have fun. That's what that room is supposed to be for now. That's his message.
Well, she's saying some things about it. Erica, you want to say?
Yeah, she says that's Cooper. He told me I was funny before he crossed. And it made me feel really good because I made him laugh when I showed him how to sign bullshit.
Okay.
In sign language.
Uh-huh.
And she's just saying, that's so Cooper.
Even took him.
She took him an FSU baseball hat. Feels like he's really here, confirming I've got major chills.
Good. I'm glad you have major chills. Let those chills be really, cooling. Because that's what he wants. He's just like going like this. This is the sign he wants to give the most, is like this. All right. Much love to you guys.
Thank you so much for
Live
joining
long and
us.
prosper. Look, I did the Star Trek
tonight.
thing. I did Spock thing. You can do it so fast. It took me I had to go into my Qigong brain.
Because I feel like Spock and the Elven community kind of live symbiotically. And since I'm Elven, did you guys know I was Elven?
Of course
I'm
you
a
are.
proud Elven.
That was deep.
Proud elf.
Spock and the elves
Elven?
are connected with the pointy ears.
I think so. Yep.
Love and intelligence all together. Perfect.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. See you next Sunday. And happy early Father's Day to those of you who are fathers. And we'll see you Sunday.